Oh my God, he's spinning early. He's spinning. Oh,
Story of my life.
He's firing early. Ladies and gentlemen, there we go. There's the first one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to a politically correct, a toned down, and a very safe Studio Rats Q&A Live. This is number 257. You are all
James,
very... What?
James, stop there. Have you got a beer tonight?
Yes, I am drinking Belgium's finest.
Well, then that's Croydon. That's a bit Croydon finest. Anyway...
From Stella Artois.
So how is it going to be? You're obviously going to say something, you know, what's the word?
Stupid? Foolish?
Suspect?
Questionable.
Vaguely criminal. Jeremy, we can't. So this is what happens. We put out the link to the show. And someone comes on, Jeremy, we can't let you on unless we see who you are, because what could happen, like James, you might come on and make a fool of yourself.
Or like Lee, you might get your nuts out.
Like that sort of stuff, yeah. Yeah, Lee even turns his camera on and then gets naked. Anyway,
you are all very welcome along to our weekly takeover of the interwebs. It's been a busy one. But Mr. Drew, I don't make the rules, I purely follow them. What have you been up to?
So there was a piece of gear that was supposed to turn up on Monday that I was supposed to review.
Yeah.
Which is the new Blackstar IDX amplifier. I've got it over there. I'll bring it out in a minute.
Cool.
It didn't turn up till Tuesday. So on Monday, everyone's coming. Everyone's coming in. And then on sorry, I'm just laughing about something. And then so on Monday I decided to do a tuition video.
Yep.
About sort of things, bits and pieces. So if you haven't checked that out, go and check that out. Thank you. And then today I've been shooting the Blackstar IDX video. So that's coming out tomorrow.
I liked your tutorial video.
Okay, Conrad, you're too young, mate. I don't think you'll be allowed on our show. That's why I'm laughing.
Sorry, buddy.
So if your mum and dad know you're watching this show, well, they obviously don't because they wouldn't let you. Anyway, let's get to it.
It's Jeremy. Do you have a favorite? Jeremy says, "Do you have a favorite guitar?"
Do I have a favorite guitar?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, actually, do I anymore? Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute.
Let's the reason we're all here. It's not you. It's not me. It's Vinny the Axe.
It is Vinny the Axe. There he is.
am I too young to be on here?
Oh no, mate. Almost the opposite.
You ain't kidding.
You all right, mate? All good?
Yeah, all good here. I was just laughing. I was like, if your parents knew you wouldn't be allowed on here. I'm just.
I don't think we're that bad, but it's not. Yeah, it's not very child friendly.
Yeah, James's comment from last week and decided, this might be a good show.
Nobody heard that comment. It was well and truly removed. Anyway,
let's go around this way. James, what have you been up with and up to, and then we can ask Vinny.
So alongside family stuff, because I thought I need to have some family time because of stuff, and it being the end of term, and there being all the performances and sports days and excuse me, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I have been. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Frantically. Sorry, that's one. Making amp packs for our latest acquisitions, of which there are some more acquisitions that have come recently. But the packs for the Reinhardt, called the Rhine Gold, are out, and they are awesome. I have to say this, Paul didn't quite get what I was on about with posting. I put the, obviously, you all know we're not primarily a bass channel, but we do service the bass community with packs for Kemper and for Headrush and for Tonex. and I put the pack for the rather amazing Ampeg SVT4 Pro up. And one chap called Matt Yonk, if that's his real name, fantastic, came back after several people saying, we can't hear it. He said, reporting back, they're amazing. Instantly some of my favorite clean tones. Keep up the great work. I love the fact that you guys are supporting the bass community. So, yes, I'm pleased about that. So that's
Awesome,
good.
well done.
Yeah, more packs coming for all of our platforms very soon. Busy week.
Good. Okay, Vinny, what about you?
I got a chance to do the video and work on that 91 white Les Paul studio.
Nice.
That thing sounded awesome. Oh my God. What they're not going to sell it, of course. They're going to keep it, in the family and stuff. But man, the frets had never been like really used.
Wow.
And I mean, the oxidation was severe on there, but wow, did it sound absolutely stellar. Probably one of the best Les Pauls I've ever played. You guys would have loved that thing, man.
It's a studio. It's a studio, yeah.
Yeah, it was a studio, and I
like the pickups.
The pickup sounded great. I don't know. I don't know what was in it. There were gold plated pickups, and the electronics looked untouched and original. I don't know what they did back then, but they said, and maybe because they aged over time, I have no idea. I did not pull the pickups out like they do on a lot of channels, because every time you do that, you run the risk of damaging something, and it's not my guitar, so I just adjusted them. But
it's probably the standard. I forgot what they're called.
I don't think they didn't sound like the 490s, man. They sounded like burst buckers to me.
Wow, amazing.
I don't know. I mean, they could have been classic 57s even, but I think they had a little bit more bite than that. But they could very well be. They just could be. The magnets are so old and aged, and also pickup covers will change how a pickup sounds a little bit too. Even if it is a 490, which you don't normally see with a cover on it, right? Do you? I don't really know. I don't care for those pickups, but this thing sounded great.
Awesome. Quick one, Aaron. If you put your camera on and you are over 18, then yes, you can, and have something to constructively add to the show. Yes, we'll put you in. But until your camera's on, mate, no way.
And I'm almost tempted to let one of them on. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get the.
Let's get this road on the show.
Yes. Jeff, he said, good morning from Brisbane. I hope everyone's happy and well and clicking the like button like there's no tomorrow. Cheers, Jeff. Well, see, Jeff gets it in early. If you can give us a like, that'll be amazing. We really appreciate it. Aaron, we can't see your face, mate. All we can see is
Jeff took my job. I have to go now.
Aaron, bring down your camera a little bit. We need to see you're above age. Come on.
You're not. Bye, okay. Aaron.
Oh, Aaron. Okay.
What is going on today? Is there like
there we go.
Looney special?
Sorry,
okay. Aaron's dealt with. Okay. Pet, evening all is a compound radius something you'd always find desirable when purchasing a telly? No, that's weird. No, I'd say the opposite on a telly.
Can I tell you, the more I play a compound radius, the more I hate it.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't.
For those of us who are drummers, what does compound radius mean, please?
Okay, so it starts at a radius and then ends up at a different radius. So, for instance, 9.5 to 11. Yeah, flattens out.
Right. So
more curve
like that, and then as it goes up the neck, it will do that flatten out.
There you go.
Okay, there we go.
And so you can play faster in the upper register, that kind of jazz. I don't know.
I can't play any faster if it's flat or round. It makes no difference to me.
I'm the same way. Matter of fact, flatter is worse. When I had that Holsworth that I really loved the look of and I sold, that was a 20-inch radius. And it was like playing on a flat board. I didn't care for it. I know a lot of people like it, but the compound radius, I understand it, but at the same token, man, like you said, you could play, once you play something, you play it for a little bit. I understand that like a lot of people like to bend really high on the upper register so you don't get that choke out, but realistically, unless you're doing something really nutty, I don't see the logic behind it, especially when you're setting up your saddles to the radius, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I usually set my saddles up to the radius at the 12th fret. So if the 12th fret is a little bit different than, let's say, the higher register, which is flatter, so it should clear in theory. Well, you're setting your radius up to that 12th fret area. Well, what about the 1st fret and the 2nd fret now? because that might be 12. Like on my Warmoth, it goes from 12 to 16. No, 10 to 16. It's 10 to 16. That's a far kind of radius. I don't. That's just me.
Nice. Next one. Yeah, Pet. Just to go back to Pet. Pet, let us know what the telly is, because that sounds like I don't know of any. I mean, maybe Fender did like a mod series or something, because I don't know of any tellies that got compound. Anyway, Jeff, Pete Thorne came home after I swapped him out a few weeks ago. Swapped him out? My red CS66 Deluxe Closet Classic has gone out instead. And the new owner, not usually a Strat fan, is overjoyed. Nice one.
There we go.
Nice. Chaz from Electric Hour Works says, greetings all from South Wales, where it's 27 degrees and overcast. I hope everyone is well. Chaz, it's baking. We've got another heat wave here, haven't we, James?
Yeah, it is. It's been positively lovely today. Supposed to be 26. Chaz, I'm assuming that's 27 degrees Celsius to speak in our money. Yeah. It's about that here now. It's lovely.
What's the? I'm trying to do the. I'm going to do the conversion here. What is that?
Double it out.
27, 54 by 84.
Yeah,
oh, that's not bad. It's 91 here.
Yeah, that's hot. Anton, hi, Anton. Thomas, greetings from Smithers, BC, Canada. Greetings, Thomas.
Smithers. Surely everyone wants to go Smithers.
Yes, they definitely do. JP, evening all, even JP. Thierry, greetings from Belgium. When you go on vacation, do you take a guitar with you, or don't you play the guitar? I used to. It didn't matter where I was going. Always had a guitar on me. Now I need a break from guitars. So otherwise I get a little bit, and I know it sounds awful, but I get a bit sick of it. So I've got to get away from it. You guys?
I remember taking a guitar when I was obviously playing guitar every night on ships and stuff. I had several guitars with me. Then when I went on to a cruise just to be the drummer, I took a guitar and did not open the case for about 9 months. I can happily go on holiday with that guitar.
Nice.
Yeah, if I go for more than like 3-4 days, I want to take one with me somewhere.
Via Satchatrucci, what's up, everyone? Greetings, as always, from Nash Vegas, Tennessee. Hope you're all well, and you, mate. Hope all is good.
We need to do a Nashville trip, mate. We so do.
I really fancy. Well, I quite fancy. Yeah, I do fancy. We're trying to book our summer holiday at the moment, and
you don't want me coming with you though.
There wouldn't be a holiday. Nectarius, good evening from Greece. How is everyone doing? Any new ideas on the tube amps versus digital solutions for live use dilemma in the summer of 2025? Funny enough, I went to the Brighton guitar show at the weekend
for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that in a minute. But Lee was there, Lee Abraham, and he just got back from seeing Iron Maiden. So you have to go through the guitarists. Yannick Gers,
Dave Murray, Yannick Gers, and Adrian Smith.
Right, okay. Yannick Gers was using a JVM.
Right.
Okay. Dave Murray. Dave Murray. No, okay. Adrian Smith was using JMP.
JMP1, presumably. Still.
JMP1.
Yeah.
With in a racks and stuff. And the other one, give me his name.
Dave Murray.
Dave Murray was using an Axe-Fx. And which one sounded best?
I'm going to go Dave Murray because the Axe-Fx is amazing.
Well, Lee said it sounded the best. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, Adrian's running the Line 6 HX effects in the loop for his effect stuff. I was very surprised to see that.
To be honest, they're not a very effect-heavy band, though, are they?
That's true.
It's crank it up
Yeah.
and go. There might be a bit of delay and a bit of, a little bit of chorus for the clean sounds, but I can probably count on one hand the number of Iron Maiden tracks that have a clean sound.
Yeah. But you know what? If anybody ever asked me, though, I always thought that Murray's tone always sounded the best anyway, because he's got a very fluid style of playing, very improv on his solos, but fluid, where
Right.
Adrian's more like rigid to the point, plays almost exact, you know what I mean? More technical. But I've
Okay.
always favored Murray's stuff.
And what about Yannick Gerd? Is the only one that I can remember the name
Yeah,
of?
Yannick's tone is very close to Dave's a little bit, but Yannick is very erratic. I mean, just if you watch his movements on stage, some people don't like what he does. He's even had a guitar strap come loose and break apart, and the guitar went into the crowd. Yeah, he was swinging.
He does love flinging it around, doesn't he?
He was swinging it like crazy, and it broke, and it went into the crowd. So luckily, nobody got hurt. But you know what I mean? He's very, very erratic playing. So I don't think it's hard to judge actually how he plays because of how rambunctious.
The showmanship element.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen Maiden 2 or 3 times, and every time come away going, just some of the greatest guitar noises ever.
Really?
Just because it's simple. It's guitar into amp into speaker, that sort of sound. It's not trying to be Petrucci or Vai or that's the noise the amps make. They're a Marshall sounding band.
Yeah.
And I love it.
There we go. Pet, he said, love the tuition vids. Paul, keep them coming. Thanks, mate. Will do. I've run out of things. I don't know any other bit. Foreign Ramen says Laney. Is that an i5?
L5. Yeah.
Nice amp. L5.
I love it.
I've finished one.
I love it. I was actually playing it a couple nights ago. I
I
really dig it. Really like it.
I need to get one. I'll get in contact with Laney.
No,
don't,
because that was the one we played at Guitar and you hated it.
Guitar.
I'm sure we had when we went telly shopping years and years and years ago with your mate. I'm sure that was what we had.
No. I've never played through one of those. We played through. I tell you what we did do. We played through at the one in Eastbourne, Bonham's.
Yeah,
Bonham's music. We played through that blackhead with the red knob on it, whatever that one is.
Yeah,
I think you might be getting confused with that.
This is a UK build. This one.
All right.
It has like a cabinet emulation out, but I tried it. I'm not the best at recording like you guys, so I didn't care for it. But that doesn't really mean anything. I mean, you can just go out and then go into an IR loader or whatever and get what you want. But I'm impressed with the sound on it. I think it sounds cool, and it's not a one-trick pony. The clean channel sounds great, and the overdrive channel sounds great.
Cool, very cool,
awesome. Jeff says Ricky Pointing's highest score was 257. You'll go past him with next week's show, joining Ben Stokes for Vinny's benefit. They're cricketers. There we go. Cricket. A bit like baseball, mate.
Oh, that's where they hit it with that like boat oar and smack the ball into.
That's the one. Yes.
Smack the ball into the crowd.
That's the Irish
people.
That's the what's the Irish thing? They've got the little paddle thing.
That's shinty, isn't it?
I don't know. Shinty, something like that.
Oh no, they're on a horse, right? Is that what it?
No, that's polo, mate.
That's it, mate. That's cricket. Yeah, that's
trust
cricket.
me. Anyone who says that's polo, mate, has never played polo.
Sorry, Jeff. Sorry.
Foreign Ramen says, "Hey, Fever." Absolutely.
Yes, it was very briefly.
Definitely suffering from that at the moment. Al, hey up, chaps from somewhere in London. Hope all is well, and to you, mate. Chris, what are your preferred amps in Fractal, specifically FM3? I've been using Dirty Shirley 2 and Deluxe Verb. I'm sure I'll get your presets eventually, but any stock ones you like. Have you actually turned it on?
Yes. It's
Oh,
brilliant.
because Lee wants it back. Lee wants it back now.
You can't have it back. It's
Lee
brilliant.
Yeah, Leo Nathan Smith, or whatever he is.
It's brilliant. But the problem is I get complete option paralysis. There's so much that I like in it.
Yeah.
It's down here. It's on a little box under my desk, so I can literally just pull it out and play. That's my go-to grab a guitar option now.
There's too much in there. There really is too much. That's why you've got to have one patch.
Yep. I'm trying. Basically, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm slowly going through them, working out what I really, really, really like, and I'm going to do a pack. We'll do another pack, FM3 and FM9, and I'll get you to test it on the Axe-Fx, and it'll be my take on the FM3 or on the Axe-Fx kind of ecosystem. Because I mean, it all sounds so good.
Yeah. Farm Ramen says, I'm enjoying my Tone King Imperial Tube preamp. It's awesome. I noticed that Clean Channel doesn't take humbuckers well, but the Dirty one does. Did you notice the same thing? I didn't, to be honest. I'll have to try that. I'll have to try that, mate. Yeah, good question. Yes, Celsius. Haha.
3, 2, 1. Willie.
Yeah, well done, Willie. Willie's out. Danilo. Hi from Italy. Hi, Danilo.
Anyone who's playing Innuendo Bingo House.
I want to move to Italy.
Do you?
Yeah, I've been looking at some houses online on YouTube and all that stuff, and it looks fantastic.
Your
what's
your heritage?
Italian.
Have you got Italian? Huh?
Yeah, 100% Italian.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell you've got that sort of mafiosi sort of toughness about you.
Maybe. I thought you were going to say it's my nose. But
no,
by Sacciatrucci. Huh?
Not
by
going there.
Sacciatrucci. 20-inch radius almost feels concave as it's so flat. I don't like anything flatter than a 16 at the most.
Vi, I totally agree with him. When it gets past 16, it feels like it's concave the opposite direction. And I wonder if that has something to do with the arc of the strings in conjunction with how flat that is. It gives it like a what do you call it? Like a false interpretation, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I took a couple of guitars to Steve at Guitar Lodge today because I took the Schecter because I wanted him to fit the battery box for me.
Nice. Good.
Which he's going to do. And I also took the 77 Strat. And he said, have you put new strings on this? I said, yes. He said, but did you put the same gauge on? I said, I don't know. He said, because the neck's doing that, like doing that. And he took the strings off and the neck's still doing that.
Oh, snap. I wonder if it was under tension for a very long time.
I think it's been under tension for a very, very, very long time. So he said he's going to have to, he's got a humidity bath or a humidity like sauna thing that he puts the neck in and that will relax. Relax the timbers and it should open itself up. He said it will basically let the truss rod right off and that will just open the neck, allow the neck to come back. But it takes, it's days, it's not minutes.
Yeah, and hopefully it doesn't. And hopefully there's no twist in it.
Yeah,
but he could correct that by doing the board. But yeah,
but
wow. Hey, I found a 74 Strat today because I'm looking for a new guitar.
Right,
and it was 10.5 pounds.
I think that's even heavier than mine
on a Strat. So won't be buying that.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
I've asked him to get me a 5-way switch.
Okay.
But it came with a 3. It makes sense because he said you're potentially destroying the resale. I said the person who did the respray destroyed the resale.
Yeah, the resale's done on that.
Yeah. And I'm not buying it for that reason. I'm buying it to play and use. So swap out the 3 and get a 5.
Yeah.
But what are you loading in it? Are you loading anything different in it, or are you leaving it?
No, the pickups sound great.
Okay.
It sounds really good. It's just really hard to play at the minute.
Would you like a Tyler preamp? I've got a spare Tyler preamp.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's still got to sound like a Strat. It's still got.
It will sound like a Strat. It will sound like a Strat, but it would sound like the Dan Huff Strat as opposed to
James Ivy
Strat that plays like a harp. It's like
it is at the minute. You could literally.
Yeah. Hey, just because Jeff, it was Jeff that reminded us. It really does help if you give us a like. So like
Please,
and
please,
subscribe,
please.
all that sort of stuff. But just give us a little thumbs up. It really
Ring the
really
bell.
does help. And we don't even monetize this show.
No,
So
we
we're
don't.
doing this for nothing. God,
We do this for fun. This is our Wednesday night jam.
It is our fun.
Besides, you can't charge anything for this face. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. If Vinny wasn't on, we'd be charging full price.
Yeah, you got to give refunds as of right now.
Graham Campbell says, even from a slightly cooler, but not so much Scotland. Nice. Welcome, Graham. Hope you're well. Session Gold. Same VSA. Andrew 2. Oh, sorry. Vice Trucci. Andrew 2 flat is uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
2 flats uncomfortable for me.
Mhm.
I think the only guitar that I've got that's got, I think this is a 16 on the Valiant. It's pretty flat, although I don't mind it for some reason.
The Valiant that I sent back last week that they sold at the show. Oh,
Yeah.
I really like that
sold
guitar.
that.
I really like that guitar. That felt very flat, but not in a bad way. It was lovely. It was a really
Right.
nice. That guitar played so nicely. So I'm guessing it was probably a 16, I guess, on that because it felt quite.
Yes, possibly. And also, so I should say as well, go and follow Vinny's channel as well, Vinny the Axe. I'm glad you did that at the right time, James, because then
Thanks.
Vinny's name came up. So Vinny's channel on YouTube. Go and follow Vinny the Axe.
And I'm only 8 away from 2,000 subscribers on
well done,
BSR Joey Talks Tech. So if anybody fancies some tech action, loads more videos coming over the coming weeks because I haven't seen Paul in a while and done any with him.
Michael Hennessy, what's up, everyone? Hi, Michael. Hope you're well. And Session Gold, do you guys know why the FM3 is so ridiculously expensive secondhand? Even the Mark 1 sell for almost the price of a new Mark 2. Some Mark 2s are listed at the same, if not more than a new FM3. So it's just people don't know what they've got. I don't think they're selling secondhand.
Yeah.
I think people... Okay, there was a time when Fractal gear was... You couldn't get it because it was so back-ordered. And I think possibly people still feel it's that time. Don't buy it. You can just go and get a new one. Yeah, don't buy it off an idiot like that.
It is. They are so worth it.
I noticed a lot of VP4s are coming up for sale used.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
A
I've
lot
noticed
of
that as well.
I could have grabbed one the other day probably for like $500 and something, but
Ooh,
I was
nice, man.
I don't know.
I think you'll like that, mate. I think you'll like that, or an FM3. I think I would get if I was you. Farm Ramen, Adrian's playing is the most on time. There we go.
Yeah, I'd
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Mr. Abraham, he says other way around. Gers JMP1. There we go. Adrian Smith JVM. Sorry, Lee. Lee's put us right.
Yeah.
And Dave Murray's tone killed it.
Yeah. Amazing.
Rocker 534. Hi, gents. Just saw Def Leppard again. They use fractals and they sounded fantastic. Yeah, they've been using them for some time.
Yeah, I saw them on the
sound great.
Hysteria, the 30th anniversary of Hysteria tour several years ago now. And I mean, their sound is so processed. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
No.
Because of the electric kit, you know, it's such a processed sound. They can get that big cannon shot snare thing live, which not many bands can, because obviously there's a lot of processing to get that. But their sound is so reliant on that kind of 80s, that big 80s chorus and delay sound, isn't it? So love it.
It is. Hollywood's talking about Axe Effects earlier. I just watched Weasel's comparison of playing Eruption on Axe Effects versus Marshall Amp. Both sounded great. In that video, he compared it against the EVH record version. Nice.
He can play.
Nice. He can play. Defo. Vice Trucci, Session Gold. If you're looking for secondhand FM3, make sure you go with the turbo version from experience. You'll run into less DSP resource issues when designing presets. There we go. Cheers for the tip, Vice Trucci. Willie, if this is an Iron Maiden loving, I'm in the wrong place. Hey, mate, I'm not a massive Iron Maiden fan at all. So you're in the right place.
It gets better. It gets better.
What's that? Session Gold says, Fire Stats True. Yeah, I know, Andrew, but they're so expensive. Even selling my whole pedal board doesn't get me close enough. Mr. McQuillan, he said, "Good evening, guys. Coming to you tonight from a balcony overlooking Grand Harbour, Malta." Oh, nice.
Love Valletta.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Look at that. There we go. These are the fantastic plectrums that Dave makes from the Highland Plectrum Company. Go and get them on Reverb. He says,
Speaking of that, I
Look at
just
that. What
got,
have you
I just picked up one of the a couple of these from Dave.
Hey!
Is that
this
5p?
This is a sixpence, and I tried doing the whole Brian May thing, but it has no attack. So he makes them with the point he makes them with the point on them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds
I've got
killer.
one of
And
those.
you know what? You get kind of, because they're so small, you really get that almost a sound from your fingertips as well. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
They're really cool.
There we go. There we go. So highly recommended by Vinny. Hold on a second. We
Hello.
didn't finish Dave's.
Hello.
We
Oh,
didn't
sorry.
finish Dave's.
Sorry.
Hold on before we
Sorry.
go to the man himself. Oh God, Dave. He says surrounded by multi-million pound yachts, sipping a sugar-free Fanta. Good man.
I love
Isn't it?
Valletta. Valletta is one of my favorite places in the world.
Nice. Mr. Cassidy, hello mate. Hello. He says hello, Rats and the Axe and Rat fans. Hello mate. I hope you
Hello.
are well. Thomas Ross, Hurling, nice one. Hurling, is that what that is? Is that the thing with the funny little paddle bats?
Oh, possibly, yeah.
Jeez, man, cricket now I'm off. Oh, well, you're such a Scotsman. You're not appreciating English sports. Marlon Carter, what are your thoughts on the Laney Foundry amps? I've been looking for a no-frill solid state amp with the most tube-like sound. I have a Katana, but I often end up tweaking more than playing. That's probably because you can tweak with a Katana. Just don't touch it.
Turn all the effects off, other than a bit of reverb and a little bit of delay. Get yourself a good tone and play.
I don't know the Foundry. Is that the
I don't know what
James and I played one and we hated it, and I've played some other ones and I quite like them.
Still, the best Laney I've ever played was that Ironheart. God, that sound.
Yeah, the Ironheart's great. The Ironheart's
That's-
really good.
I nearly bought one again the other day
Did you?
because we
they're
didn't make
really
enough.
cheap as well.
We didn't make enough of that when we had it. God,
Yeah,
that
it's
thing
good.
sounded good.
Really great. The Laney amp's great. JP, talking of Adrian Smith, I really like his collabs with Richie Kotzen. To my ears, anyway, way better than their day jobs. And looking forward to seeing them early 2026. Yeah, they're coming to Southampton, so me and Leah think we're going.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Very cool. I love Richie Cotton's playing.
I like his voice.
What's that? Yeah, he has got a great voice, isn't he?
Yeah.
Danilo Fagiolonio. Have I messed that up?
Probably Fagiolino. Fagiolino.
Fagiolino?
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Could you talk about cables? No.
No.
Cables? Definitely not, mate.
Cables are really easy. Don't buy the cheapest. Don't get hoodwinked into buying the most expensive.
Yeah, let us know what you want to know about cables.
Yeah, because it is. It's relevant. I mean, it's a whole can of worms and snake oil salesman.
Oh,
and
my
the shorter you can go, the better,
Yeah,
if
Amen.
possible.
But
I notice a lot of people that play at home. They'll put like 15-foot, 30, 25-foot cables in their effects loop. And if you're not playing on stage and you don't need it right in front of you, and you put it in front of the amp, just run 2 6-footers into the loop. That's what I do. Yeah, you got to get up and go over and change something, but it makes a difference. Less cabling.
Yeah.
Cable,
And this is buffered, I guess. And this is a buffered effects loop.
but it's still unbalanced. Anything that gets into the signal,
Yeah,
is
it's still
staying on the
resistance.
signal.
Yeah, but with a buffered effects loop, it definitely affects the tone issue that you'd get from running low cable.
Yeah, but it doesn't stop the interference. If the interference gets onto one cable, onto the cable, it's on there. Whereas a balanced cable, the whole point of balancing is you don't get the interference. You don't get nastiness.
Yeah, but you don't get balanced cables on guitar amps.
I know you don't. That's why you keep the fat cable runs short.
Okay, Session Gold seems like the second-hand market in general is terrible at the moment. It's going
Depends,
up and
depends
down.
what it's for. If you want a valve amp at the moment, the second-hand market's fantastic. If you want to sell one, it's terrible.
The guitar
Yeah,
market's kind of slow.
Yeah, it's slow, and I think people are asking too much. I'm looking around for a guitar at the moment, and a couple of weeks ago, when I didn't have any money, there was a really nice custom shop Strat that was like so dirt cheap, and I was like, oh god, if I only had some money.
Because of
And
course
then
you don't
now,
have anything for that, do you?
I don't have enough guitars, and then now it just seems everyone's asking too much money again. But yes, I guess it is. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, if anyone's got any nice guitars they want to sell, just give me a shout because I'm in the lookout. I keep looking at Nags, Vinny.
Oh yeah, I like my Nags. It's
Yeah.
nice. What are you looking? What are you looking at though?
Can I?
The Kanai, yeah.
Can I? Is that what it's? Yeah.
That's kind of what my Steve Stevens is based off of.
Yeah.
I had a Kanai and I loaded bare knuckles in it and I relicked it and sold it.
Did you?
Yeah, it sounded killer though. I just didn't like the color.
Ah, interesting. Vice Trucci, Session Gold. I hear you, brother. The dollar struggle is real. Graham, although I've got a decent Nux modeler, I bought a cheap Joyo American sound pedal again for my small gig board. Sounds brilliant and cures my option paralysis. Nice.
I want to open up a business. I want to open up a business where foreign companies get with me before they name their company name or their products, like a consultant.
Yeah.
You know, like when the Chinese food restaurant down the block opens up and they call it Lucky Cat. No joke, with the cat on the sign
as opposed to Unlucky Cat.
Yeah, I'm like, how lucky was the cat? You know what I mean? Like, I think I could help them out with that.
That's terrible.
Or when they name the restaurant Tastes Good. That's cool, man. I think we could build on that, maybe get something else out of it. Just like Nux. And if you look at half these companies on Amazon, I'm just like, oh my God, what the hell were you thinking?
Yeah. So I've been upgrading my DJ system lights and for wedding DJing and stuff recently, and I've bought a whole load of Chinese lights basically because they're cheap. They haven't. I don't need to go out and buy a whole set of Robies that are costing 5,000-6,000 quid each. I can buy a couple of moving heads for 50 quid and not panic about it because it's for a disco. And if they pack up after 2 years, who cares? But the Chinese the Chinese lighting companies are all called hilarious things like U-King and Shield and like. Yeah.
And I know the Nux is Nuix is what it's supposed to be because there's a little line between the U and the X in the logo.
What's the other one? What's the other Chinese?
Well, Mua.
We can't decide how you pronounce it.
And you got the hot tone, ho tone.
Yeah, hot tone.
Like, come on, man. Damn.
Hot tone.
Yeah,
I've got a bone to pick with you about lights as well. Stop looking at boring lighting stuff on the Studio Rats YouTube channel because all I'm getting fed now is crappy Chinese lights. So stop. Right.
But YouTube doesn't do that. It doesn't. If you're talking about lights, it doesn't feed into the.
No, because you're typing in crap Chinese lighting systems, whatever, and they keep coming through.
I'm really not.
Well, funny that I keep getting it.
I know. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. You guys are like an awesome married couple. I love watching this.
Matthew, I enjoy your demos. Do you know about the Laney Dual Top? Does it have that fizzy solid state distortion or is it better? I don't know the Dual Top. Is that an old one?
No.
Don't know that one, I'm afraid, Matthew. Sorry, mate. We'll try and check it out. CompuCorder 64. Wondering what you guys' favorite bass amp that is also a good guitar amp. Need a 50 to 100 watt tube bass amp and would be nice if it's good with guitar. Maybe Ampeg V4B, RI, Selmer, treble and bass, or JCM 800 bass. I don't know anything about bass amps, especially bass amps, just tube amps.
The best for me, anyway, that I've played that I bought was that Bassman 70. Oh my God, did that thing sound good? Great bass amp, great guitar amp.
Okay, excellent.
My brother's an amazing bass player. Been playing for 30 years, and I don't know very little about bass guitar, but I could tell you that the only amps that I liked that I thought sounded really good that he had were Ampegs. And he's had Harkey and a whole bunch of other different things, but the Ampeg always sounded the best to my ears. But then again,
Wow.
I'm a guitar player, so what the hell do I know?
It also depends what sort of bass player you are. If you're playing one of those Gibson SG basses, like kind of like much more dubby, much less modern sound, you're probably not going to want to plug into a Harkey or a modern Ampeg. You might want a Bassman, and a Bassman is a great vintage style bass amp and a really cool guitar amp. If you're Mark King, for example, where you want spangity spang, plugging into a Bassman is not going to give you what you want.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's difficult, but there are some great bass amps that work as guitar amps. The JCM 800 bass was one of them, but don't think that a JCM 800 bass sounds like a JCM 800. It does not have the gain, because bass amps are not designed to have that much gain.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to bid you guys farewell. You're going to get a reprieve from me. Yes, I have to go pick up my daughter. So,
Unbelievable.
Yeah, she's at a friend's. So I'm going to go, and I bid you farewell. It was good to be on, and I will see you next week.
Yeah, great to see you, mate. You take care.
See you guys,
mate. See you soon.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
We're going to do some work now.
What are we going to do now? He's gone. He's the only reason why people watch this show. Now, Phil's not on. He's not on. I don't know what's going on. We need to get those kids back.
Last year we had. Last week there was 8-9 of us at one point. Now there's just me and him.
Sorry, everyone. Right, let's get to it. Gary, my girlfriend bought me a Strymon Cloudburst pedal for my birthday. What a beautiful, unique pedal. I really like your last video. Please do more tutorial videos. Cheers, Gary.
She's a keeper, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, she's a good one. Willie, did you buy it? And she gave you the money, or did she surprise you with it?
That is a good question. The way I read it is she bought it.
She bought it, yeah. Vice Trucci, a friend of mine made a Strat out of clear lucite, and it weighs 15 pounds. It's ridiculous. Jesus. 15 pounds on a Strat.
Yeah.
No, it's a 12-inch pull. What on that Valiant, Dave? That's thanks, mate. Well, thanks for filling me in. That's I didn't get any of the specs with it, to be honest. So cheers, Dave, for filling us in.
That's a good neck.
Dave works for Valiant. Dave does the UK Valiant stuff. Mark's gas station. Greetings, folks. Greeting, Mark. Hope you're well. Hello, FX. Is this Studio Gears Relate channel or Guitar Fanatic in general? Is this Studio Gears Relate channel?
We talk about most things. Hello, FX. We talk about mainly guitar stuff, but we're a broad church.
We try and avoid anything that isn't guitar. Let's put it that way. Especially James's surround sound, whatever that's called, and
Dolby Atmos.
That's it. Don't say that word. We can lose. See, the numbers are going down already. Mr. Marples, he says, but just like Paul to think it's so much bigger than it actually is. It is. It's always bigger.
So, how many beers did you have on Friday night with Dave, Paul?
Me and Dave had 8 beers. We're out on the. Yeah, I didn't think I was that drunk, but I know I was. Someone said to me.
Dave could probably say otherwise.
Yeah. Paul, hello, mate. He said, even Jet's great to see you on here. I'm guessing you might talk about the gear stuff on the Sabbath Back to the Beginning gig. If you saw it, I didn't see any of it.
I thought it was brilliant.
Did you?
I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
They were charging so you could watch it live.
Yes.
You could stream it live, and it was 25 or 35 quid.
Yeah.
To stream it live.
It was. I've watched various bits on YouTube, and it was absolutely phenomenal.
Was it?
If it was Back to the Beginning,
yeah, there we go.
Oasis,
You've done it again.
I know. Back to the Beginning or Oasis, I know where my money was getting spent.
I think that's a more interesting gig, isn't it? Definitely.
It was absolutely awesome.
Amazing.
And you know, it was a bit like the last time we had a gig like that was the Freddie Mercury tribute show. The difference being, of course, this time the guy we were celebrating was there in the middle.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, he so wanted to be up and running around the stage, but you could just tell he was pretty much strapped in.
Was he?
Yeah, I really felt for him because I mean, you know, there's a guy who's lived.
A little bit too much, yeah.
Brilliant. I mean, gear wise, yes, of course. I mean, the thing that actually made it for me was the revolving stage. I thought that was what every festival type gig should have. You know, where the bands actually want to play their own gear and they want to do fast turnarounds. It was brilliant. Someone like Al could probably tell me whether that's become the norm or not these days. But it was the first time I've seen it on a festival stage or festival type gig, and it was brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll bring the subtitles. I'll bring the subtitles app in now. The one, the only, Mr. Steve Casardi.
Ah, there he is. You all right, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, all right, mate. All right. Any news this week? You been up to anything?
Yeah, well, a little bit, but I'm basically just here for I'm Vinny's understudy. So
thanks, mate. You're not, and you're never going to be Vinny.
I know. Well, that's all I want. I want that so bad to be Vinny.
Don't we all, mate? Don't we all?
True
Don't we all?
story.
I want to be as cool as Vinny.
I just jumped in because you guys are talking about the back. What was it called again? Back to better.
Back to the beginning.
Back to the beginning.
Back to the beginning. That's the one. That's the one. I didn't see it myself, but I seen a load of the clips online and stuff as well. And the big news for me was Nuno with his.
I saw your video
with his Nuno guitar. What?
Yeah, I saw your video on that. That was a good video. Yeah. Yeah. So what is it? What do you want to tell everybody? What they did?
Watch the video. But,
That's true.
Yeah. So he was playing the concert, not all of it, but parts of the set with this sort of new guitar that basically looks like an N4, but it looks like it's maybe a different wood, darker wood, like a walnut or something. And it's got like 2 stripes going up the body, and same headstock, reverse, everything's the same. But on the headstock, it doesn't say Washburn, it says Nuno.
Awesome.
Only. So it's kind of looking like.
Is he doing an EVH?
Well, EVH, Brian May, Wild Audio, Ola, Solar. I mean, even Chapman guitars to an extent. If it was, I mean, I always thought, that's what I said in the video, that I thought Nuno was the kind of loyal guy that would stick with the company forever, like Washburn. But I think if it was any other brand, like if he was with Fender or PRS or something like that, I just think that would be a weird move. But just given the state of Washburn the past, 10 years, they just don't do anything, you know? So it makes sense. Hopefully that's where he's going. But it also seems like it might be something to do with, Iconic Guitars, the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're involved somehow in this model.
Why do you think they're involved?
Well, they already use the same headstock, reverse. Yeah. And also he wrote, Nuno put a post on his Instagram page of him in a car on the way to the gig, and he's playing the guitar in the car. And in the caption, he wrote, "On my way to this iconic event." And then Iconic Guitars wrote, responded in the comments as well. So it's looking like maybe. Let's see what happens.
Can you think of another guitar player who has used the same guitar? Now, when I say the same guitar, I don't mean the same brand or same type. Other than Brian May, who has his number 1, which was the original Red Special, can you think of another guitar player who primarily uses the same single guitar? I can't think of another one.
Not for that long, no.
But no, I don't mean like. I mean, Nuno probably has several.
Bruce Springsteen.
fours.
Yeah, there you go.
Bruce
But
Springsteen.
the one he always plays is the same one that always comes. I mean, Steve Vai has Flow and Evo, and there are a few named ones that always come out. But Brian May always plays the same original homemade one.
I could be wrong, but I think that both Brian May and Nuno retired their originals a few years ago. I think because especially for Brian May, because his is just too valuable to take out, and it's too risky to take out. It's
funny you say, and it's funny you say that about Iconic. It's funny. I had a guitar in from Iconic that's just been that's just gone out for repair. That needed some adjustments and stuff. And Iconic do ghost building, so it could be.
Yeah.
Didn't they do BC Rich or something for a while, or it was something like that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's some speculation that Iconic might be making Washburns, some special Washburns for not Washburns, sorry. Well, maybe actually, yeah, some special ones for Nuno already, but we don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it all turns out.
Very cool. Good spotting, Mr. Casardi, sir.
I can't.
Yeah, well done, mate.
It was a mate of mine sent me the clip. Steve Murphy guitar. Shout him out. But yeah,
well done, Steve. Good on you, Steve. Are you hanging around?
Of course.
Hey, yeah, we need someone, mate.
Just for me.
As long as you want.
Do we have that?
Yes, we've had Dave. Yes, we've had Paul. Yeah,
that one.
Daniel says, "Good evening, Rat Pack. Just picked up a Fractal VP4 as an early birthday present. Can't wait to try it out and put together a pedal purge to help pay for it." Nice one.
Well done.
Yeah, I think lots of people are doing that. Lee from LA Guitar says, "Love to know the big names using Fractal use the internal cabs or their own IRs. IRs can be so vital to your sound." Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think you agree with me on this one though, Paul. Find one or two you like and stick with it, because there are so many gazillion out there that option paralysis kicks into another level.
Yeah, defo.
The Bogren ones are really good. Really good.
Yeah, they are really good. It's true. Paul, as the Fractal just holds value really well. There's a summer sale on the USA Fractal website at the moment. If anyone's interested, the USD price compared to Europe is nuts. Interesting. Willie, to be frank, I'd rather watch cricket than F1. Hey, mate, you're not wrong there. Woof! I went to an F1. Oh, mate, it's the dullest thing I've ever seen in my life. I went to one. Rubbish.
You're missing the point. It's
just rubbish. Anyway, Paul Bradshaw, exactly. Taxis in Netherlands suck. There we go. They do.
Yeah.
Gary, I sold my Boskitana 100 Gen 3 for a Supro Delta King 12 for the same reason, too much faffing. No regrets. That thing is amazing. Nice.
Right.
Copy quarter. The Laney LA 30BL sounds, looks, and is built great too. Very much no frills tube though. The orange Supercrush 100 is a good alternative to the Laney Foundry. Good shout.
We need to embrace an orange, but I need to find the right one.
Yeah. I hate the look of them.
They look like the Fisher Price of amps. I know they're not.
Yeah, they do. That's exactly what they look like.
They look like the Fisher Price of amps.
What do you think,
I was just going to say I've got an original 1974 orange OR 120.
That's the one I want. That's the one we want.
Yeah, 74.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's out of action at the moment. I kind of inherited it when I was about 15 from a pal I was in the band with's uncle, and they gave it to me and says, "Do you want this?" Like, yeah. It says, "Just you can't turn it on." I was like, "What?" "Don't turn it on, you'll blow it," or something. I was like, I didn't understand at the time, but sat in my attic for years, and then I took it to a tech, and we got it working for about a year, and I was gigging it for a bit, but it was just pointless gigging because it weighed a ton, and like no one needs 120 watts of valve power for a pub gig. So yeah,
unless your pub is Wembley Stadium.
That's it. And then it just died again. So I've never got it looked at again. But a guy who used to work for Orange back then, I spoke to. His name's Dennis Marshall. He thinks he might have.
Oh, the irony.
Yeah, I know. He thinks he might have been on the assembly line when that was built, and he just lives across in Fife. So
It also
Nice.
turns out that the trumpet, one of the trumpet players in my big band when I was at college, he, after touring with Michael Bublé on trumpet, decided that trumpet wasn't for him. Basically packed the trumpet away, picked up guitar again, and now is one of the chief designers for Orange.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
But the problem is, I don't want a new Orange. I want an old one like that.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, what was the green one? The Matt amp. That's the one I really want.
They were linked somehow, weren't they? Orange
Yeah,
and
there
Matt.
was Matt amp. Matt became Orange somehow. I don't really know.
CG Carreno says, hi everyone. Any thoughts on the new Keeley Manis? If so, how it compares to the Wampler Tumnus Deluxe? God, aren't we all a bit bored of Klon pedals? It's fun, isn't it? Like companies still keep releasing them. It's amazing. I mean, I imagine if it's made by Keeley, it's going to be
It's gonna be great.
absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Is it called the Tumnus purely because of Mr. Tumnus being a?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good. I think that's good. Yeah, well done, Wampler.
That's just covert enough to be.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's good, isn't it? You know what it is. You know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wampler did a good job with that. I don't know, and I don't know that much about it. I've got so many bloody Klon style pedals, and they all roughly sound the same, don't they?
I mean, to be honest, you can as watching KDH's video about the Behringer one.
Mm-hmm.
Buy the Behringer one for £59.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, unless you need it to be roadworthy, I'm not saying the Behringer stuff isn't roadworthy, but my money would be behind a Keeley or Wampler product than it would be behind a Behringer on the road.
Yeah, I agree.
Sonically, I bet there's so little in it, it's painful.
Yeah,
I think you
but
want
Keeley sorry, Steve.
The Behringer if you want the aesthetic, but you can get a load of pedals that'll sound the same, but maybe just different enclosure.
Yeah. But the Behringer is by far the cheapest at $59.99.
Yep. Graham, agree on the Laney. I use a Laney 2x8 duo acoustic amp as my PA for many solo pub gigs. Sounds really good and solid. Nice. Yeah. Cheers, Graham. Gary, Willie, she bought it as a surprise. Nice.
Good. She's a keeper, mate. Absolutely a keeper.
She's worked it out, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Have not got a clue. Haven't got a clue. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try this. So bonsoir. Je n'ai pas. He doesn't speak very good English.
Hang on. Let me dump it into. Let me sing it. Let me put it in.
Hold on. Paul, very much super. I think he's saying.
Paul is super.
What? No.
Do you have any interest in gear of IR mixing and placement of mic producer?
Procure mic. Yes, mic placement is. Yeah.
That was a good guess.
Fabrice, if you don't mind, just stick your question in a
hang on.
He's done it. James has done it.
I've done it.
We're coming then.
No, but you can see it surely. I've converted it on the page.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Just be there. It says, "Good evening. I don't speak English. Please excuse me. I'm Paul TSR, who is really great. I think he likes you. I would really interested in his approach to IR mixing placement and which one to get. So basically, which IR device, which IRs to load onto it, and where you put it in the chain. That's how I'm reading it.
Is he not asking what IR to use?
Perhaps.
Okay, if it's IR, there's an IR pack from Bogren Digital. Their Bayer pack,
which is brilliant.
It's really good. It's really, really good. And there's only 3 that I use from it. And one's called Lead the Way, which I think is probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And I just use that. So you can buy the whole pack for just that one IR.
And I think it was about $39, I think. Not expensive.
For the whole pack. Pack. And in terms of placement, from being a producer, my preference is always IR before effects. So amplifier, IR, then reverbs. That sort of, so time-based effects.
Yeah.
Sometimes it changes, but that's mainly what I do.
I agree entirely.
Can we have that in French now, please?
No.
Yes. Yes.
Oui.
No.
Oui.
Oh,
Zut
wing with
alors,
that.
zut alors, le IR, le der. It's only going to get worse, so I'm going to stop. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
please welcome greatness once
Ah.
again, Mr. Paul Bradshaw.
Hello, mate.
There he is.
How are you, sir?
Hello.
Hello.
Good. I thought I could, if you put the French back up, I could actually say it in French if you want to do that. Not to show off. but
We
it's just
would,
if
mate.
you felt
We
like-
would.
If you felt
We
like
would, but
doing
we
it.
don't want all the ladies watching to get extremely turned on and all the men
Oh,
to go.
that's too
So-
kind. I think
And
it's
now
probably
I've
like my
translate-
YouTube channel. It's like 99.8% male.
Whoa.
Wow, you've got more than us.
Now I've converted it into English. I actually can't convert it back to French.
Fair enough.
Yeah, mine is the Studio Rats is, I think it's like 2.3% women, which is
That's
I mean, I
better.
guess
That's
that's-
better than me for sure.
I don't know.
I don't know what I can do about it either. I'm not sure if it's just like the niche that I'm doing, or it's just like, you know, women don't buy fractal units.
it could be the metal possibly.
Maybe
If
scarce
you
them
did
off.
more sort of John Mayer stuff, they might sort of come on a bit more.
Well, John Mayer has tattoos. I got tattoos.
we need to
Does that
get
help?
And you're
Jack.
extremely tall, just like John Mayer.
We need to
Oh,
get Jack
thank you.
Rubinacci back on. His following is like 98% Latin American ladies, isn't it?
That's the same as
It
mine.
is, yeah.
How are you,
Lady
buddy?
boys. of course.
No, good. It's like shows a one. I've got Judas Priest next week at work, so that should be
Nice.
interesting. And Katie Melua on Tuesday. Like, so I work as a
Awesome.
promoter for people that are watching here as well.
That's
But I don't just
Two
do
very
musicians.
different demographics of the music industry.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, it's yeah. I'm looking forward to also seeing like some of the gear as well. I'm not sure if I can talk because Andy Sneap plays guitar with Judas Priest,
Yeah.
and I know his tech. Well, I know the tour manager as well. Maybe I can talk and get a run through of what they're using on the tour. Just because I'm interested in that kind of nerdy stuff, so I've got that to kind of look forward to next week, and then. Yeah, just same old, doing videos and try not to spend money on more guitar stuff.
And failing,
It's an effect.
hopefully.
Failing horrifically, but I'm trying to sell some stuff to buy more stuff,
Oh.
which doesn't bode well. But I don't know if you saw you might have it in the news, the PRS SE, is it the NF53, which is
Have I got that in the news? Yes, I have got that in the news.
Yeah,
I
which
have-
is the SE version of the NF53, which is based like, I'll use the proper politically correct terms, which is a T-style shaped guitar, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
With like these narrow field pickups. So they kind of sound like P90-ish if you've watched the demos, which, yeah, it's kind of caught my eye because it's like, well, it's kind of like a noiseless telly on steroids. What's not to like, to be honest?
Yeah, it does look good. It does look good. We'll get into the news in a minute actually, and talk about that.
Paul, what's your axe of choice? What's your go-to?
Oh,
I've got.
No,
Sorry, which Paul?
no, you got to change your name. You got to change your name.
Sorry, you can call me Bradshaw if you want.
That would do.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Who's going to say now? It's
Paul,
like confusion.
what is your axe of choice? What's your go-to? You know, your I'm going to play guitar. What do you pick up the wall first?
All right. At the moment, so I'll take my headphones off. I'll show you.
On them. It's so dark. It's very dark. Do you live in this sort of darkness? Because it's so metally.
Look at that.
I'm metal, man. Wait, hang on a sec. Look, I'll improvise. Look at this. Oh,
I fancy. Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Look at that.
That's
Look at this.
nice.
Look at
It's-
this.
Is it
slightly
70s
awkward.
brown or is it red? I can't work it out.
No, it's a red, unfortunately. Well, red. Unfortunately, it's a 61 reissue. I was trying because I foolishly sold the one I had for ages, and I found this on Reverb. It's from 2006, and it's kind of beat up. Like I mean, yeah, you won't really see it, but there's basically like, you know, the pots are kind of damaged. There's wear and tear. But there's the Faber bridge on here, which has been upgraded, new electronics, stuff like that. It just plays and sounds really well. So that's my go-to at the moment, but that might change at a week's notice. And otherwise, actually, I have something that might interest you, other Paul, which is a Strat.
Oh, no, we're talking. Oh, look at that bad boy. What's that?
This would be my number one in terms of like guitar for everything, just because it's a HSS Strat, really flexible, but it's a parts caster. So it's a 60th anniversary neck with Dunlop 6100s on there. I think Sir pickups, so the DSV ML set there. This is a really cool, it's the Wood Tone. They're UK based. They do parts, and it's like their bridge, which is really nice. It's got a longer, I know you can see that's got a longer arm on there as well, which is really cool to play. And I've had this Strat for like 10 or 11 years, and it's meant that I'm not interested in another Strat. I've had no need to say like, oh, I fancy another Strat, if that makes sense, which is kind of the dream, I guess. So yeah, really happy with this.
Is that
You don't like the
ebony board, or is it rosewood? It just looks really dark and nice.
Oh,
Is it ebony?
Yeah, my room's really dark with like hardly any lighting. Moody. No, it's rosewood.
It's a nice dark rosewood.
Yeah.
Nice.
We
Very
like that.
nice.
We like that a lot. Yeah, I do like that a lot.
you.
Very nice, mate. Very nice.
stuff. And yeah,
Right,
I've got the Kaufman as well, otherwise, which I think I've shown you at some point. It's that.
Now let's have a look at this Kaufman,
Right.
because I quite fancy one of them. So Kaufman are a German custom build company that do make. Originally, they made pickups, didn't they, Paul?
I think is that Kloppmann. There's a German brand. And this is Kaufmann.
Okay.
Oh god.
Right.
That looks great.
About to see that in the light. Yeah.
And is that Polonia?
Yeah, it's Polonia. So this is 2.6 kilograms.
Jeez.
It's super light. And I kind of lucked out because this was at Guitar Summit 2 years ago. Like they were there on that year, and I was like, oh, this looks cool. I'll just try it out. And I loved it so much. I was like, okay, how much does this cost? Oh, that one's sold. I could do it in a Dutch accent, but I was just like,
That one is shot.
but you're welcome to keep playing it if you want. So I was like, okay, that's kind of tempting it, but I just kept playing it. And then after the show, like I messaged him saying, like, I'd really love that guitar. I know it's sold, but yeah, how much would it cost to get a new one or another one made? And after some back and forth, I think the boss messaged me and said, I talked to the buyer and they've decided they want a different color. So this came up and I was like, yeah, I just have to have it. So
Awesome.
yeah, so this is like one of those keepers as well. So it's a bit of money. It's like 2.2k euros, which this is my most expensive guitar. I'm not loaded with loads of guitars. I tend to buy guitars up to like 1.5k maybe. That's sort of my pain threshold, but this was just one of those things where I was like, oh yeah, I just have to put in the money and get that.
Yeah, they're really nice. Apparently he's got his spray booth in his garden. It's like this, I think if someone's telling me that he's got this sort of bunker or something that he builds guitars in.
Okay.
In his garden. But anyway.
Yeah, I'd really love for you to try this, Paul, because I think this is something that I think you'd really like. And they do some really nice Strats and other stuff, but they weren't at Guitar Summit last year. I'm not sure if they'll return, but like if they do, like just take a bit of time and check out some of their guitars, because I think you'd enjoy it. So
I played one at the Birmingham Guitar Show, Polonius.
Oh yeah,
that I really liked. Yeah, because we've got a shop in the UK that's just taken them on, that deals with them now, and I quite fancy one.
Are you still
Anyway.
on that Strat search? Actually, I know you're doing all those videos on.
And I'm all done. There's one more video to be made, which I can't talk about until it's in. But
Okay,
it's one more. There's one more video to be made, and then that's it. There's no more.
Then there'll be another one more. Then there'll be the final ever one more. Then there'll be the final. We've retired finally. We've stopped doing it tour, but we've run out of money. Again, video.
It's like Ozzy. Yeah, it's like Ozzy doing his final gig.
or it's Kiss, or it's Scorpions. I can throw a lot of names in that hat.
Didn't the Eagles
unfortunately.
actually do the tour they called the Final Farewell One tour?
No, it's cool. No, it was.
Yeah, it was. It was
'cause
called the
they
Final
famously
Farewell.
said
It's Hell Freezes Over, wasn't it?
Hell
Hell
Freezes
Freezes Over was
Over.
the one that when they got back together, but when they've been out a while, and before Don Felder passed, they had it was the Final Farewell One tour. That was the one.
Oh,
that,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
First
one.
leg.
Therefore, inferring there will be a two. Should we do the news?
Yes.
Can I
let's
do
do
a
the
bit of
news.
show
Paul,
and
you hanging
tell?
around?
Yeah, I'll hang around.
Can I do
Sounds
some
good.
show and tell first?
Yeah.
Mr. Two, I
Come on
was
then.
going to
Yeah,
ask,
James doing some shit.
If
is
I
your
can make it-
final video the conclusion of your search? Have you, so you can tell
Sort
us all
of.
what's the one?
It's sort of. It's
Sounds
sort of the conclusion of the search. Yes, it's sort of. I can
Can I
tell
just-
you at another point.
Can I
What
just-
color is it? What color is it? Go
Do you
on.
not, do you not
What,
have
the final video is green over sunburst.
I know what it is.
Oh, interesting. Okay, don't say.
Anyway,
Sansamp.
I don't know why
I-
James is getting excited over this.
I
forgot
understand that. I can understand that. Absolutely
I
understand
forgot
that.
how brilliant they were. It's a brilliant thing. And do you know what? You know how people go on about only, and Paul B, you'll hopefully appreciate this. When people say, oh, he's a metal producer, therefore he can make a metal guitar sound. And Paul D, you and I go on and say, yeah, but we can't make a guitar make that sound because we don't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? When we say, you know, people say, when we say, if we make a metal sound, metal people won't think it's a metal sound.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we Sam.
That makes a metal sound. That makes
Okay.
proper chug with the right amount of shoom around the note. Does that make any sense at all?
Sort of. Yeah.
Chunk.
It-
or
If you
chug,
go
as
that
you
kind of
wanna call
chug,
it.
chug, 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 that kind of jump, the Metallica chug, jump, 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 that will do it. Whereas no other amp I've got will do it as well as that does.
Okay.
I
It
don't know
sounds
why.
like you need more amps.
No, I definitely don't. Because, and I'm not going to get it, but I bought an amp. I bought an amp this week that I sold about a year ago and wished I hadn't sold. I've bought another JCM 900.
What the is it the high gain dual
It's the
reverb?
high gain dual reverb 2x12 combo, but this is the
Okay.
100. This is the 100-watt version, and I had the 50. And do you know what? They sound different. They really sound different.
Okay.
I'm almost thinking there's another amp pack coming because it sounds so different. So anyway,
Right.
I would get the JCM, but of course I'd have to lift it, and they're not exactly bicep friendly.
But you got the
No.
combo as well, which must be like 40 kilos or something. If it's 100
Oh,
watt.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as heavy as the Matchless, which is the 2x12 combo as well. But that's
Okay.
the heaviest. I think that's heavier than a Small Moon. And in the
Alright.
flight case, it's actually unliftable. Sorry,
There
Paul.
we go.
Drew.
That's all right.
It's all right. It's all right. Okay. Are we done?
Yes.
Thank
I'm just
God.
going to double up everything Paul says because we're going to get confused who you're talking to. This is going to be great.
Right. Let's do the news.
To the news.
Share screen.
Zumba.
It's coming.
No, other way.
Right. Can you see?
Yeah.
'Cause I can't see what's going on. Yeah, you can see. Okay, so Mua F15i Li. Terrible name. New intelligent amp for guitar. So I think Henning reviewed this. I haven't seen the video, but yeah, it's like do you know what? I don't mind the look of it.
If VW, as in Volkswagen, made an amp, it would look like that.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think it's sort of it's living room friendly, isn't it?
Yeah,
you could have that in your kitchen, and the wife's not going to get upset.
It's got a WAF, hasn't it?
What? Go on, what's WAF?
Wife approval factor.
There we go. It's got a WAF. As Paul Bradshaw was talking about, this is the new PRS SE NF53 affordable.
I like those.
Yep.
Yeah, to be honest, they look incredibly like the more expensive version, which makes me worry about the expensive version.
It's just the pick guard is different on the SE model. So on the more expensive, or the core model as they call it, it's a smaller pick guard that goes between the two pickups and then goes down. And then on the SE model, they made it like this. I actually think the SE model looks really nice with that pick guard. It looks better. And
they've got it looks like they've got mother of pearl inlays as well, which I don't think it has. Yeah, look.
That looks great. That looks absolutely killer.
So you should listen to the official demo. It sounds really, really good with Brian, the one you did. It's a really nice sounding guitar. So it's just it's gas inducing. It's not nice. It's just you watch it, you're like, oh, fancy that. That's pretty good.
He plays nice. So yeah, and they are €1,149. So a lot cheaper.
In the vaguely affordable market, as opposed to.
Yeah. Blackstar IDX, the new amps out from Blackstar. My review's coming tomorrow. It's great. It's like Katana style digital amp. Really good. Quite impressive. And James, you'll like it if I can find a picture. There we go.
Oh, it's got a proper DI out on it.
It's got a proper DI out on the 100 watt.
Awesome. That's good. I like that. I like that already.
All right. Yeah. So everyone knows we love Gibson. We love Gibson guitars. We love Gibson.
I just showed one. I know what you're going to say, but yeah.
I thought, do you know, when you flashed that quickly, I thought that Brian May guitars had brought out another model, because that's very much like the Brian May style headstock, isn't it?
Well, and Brian May is linked to Gibson these days as well, somehow.
Is he?
Do you not remember something came out like last year about him and Gibson partnering on something? That's obviously not this.
That was acoustics, wasn't it? Rather than
acoustics. That's it. Yeah,
it was an acoustic. Yeah.
I mean, that's not pretty, I'm afraid.
It's not a looker, is it? There's reasons why I think guitars get discontinued, and this is a 70s. I think it's a remake of a 70s model.
I will say I've seen worse.
I've seen worse, but
I've seen worse driven over by a excavator by the team at Gibson.
I've seen something like that at the beach to dig up sand.
Yeah,
based on what it looks like. It's not for me.
I love Gibson guitars. But that's definitely not my fave. That's it. Now, there's one other thing that I want to show you, because I've been lusting after a Novo.
Right.
I hear you.
A
Cirrus or something like that.
Yeah, Cirrus J. Yeah, would probably be my preference. And there's one on eBay in the UK at the moment, and I want to show you it. And I was sort of hoping that Phil from 40 Watt Podcast was going to be on, because it's this one. Let me find it. Right. So you go, okay. Well, I sort of get it. I mean, he's made a mistake with the scratch plate. He's changed the scratch plate to a chrome one.
Chrome one.
Yeah, it's wrong. But look at this. They are actual holes. They are holes that go all the way through the body.
Is that like bullet holes or something?
Well, it's been made from it's and it's made from a 100-year-old barn door. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
That knot in the corner is a beast, is it?
What's
Just
that?
where the forearm contour is, it's like a massive knot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a massive knot.
Yeah. It's a tone knot.
I was going to say,
It's a
if
tone
you're
knot.
interested, there's a Premier, I think it's Premier Guitar, where they do a factory tour of
Right.
Novo, I think. And what's brilliant is they talk to the guy that does the relicking. It's like a one-man job who just like, he's literally with like stones and other stuff, like goes about just
Awesome. What a job.
relicking. Like, it's just like, it's a hand job, but it's.
What
I
you do for a
shouldn't
living?
have said that,
Trash guitars.
but it's just really sort of like, okay, there is proper relicking, but there's an art form to it, in the sense that when you see a bad relic job, it's usually
Yeah.
extremely bad, and something
Yeah.
like this, you're like, yeah, this has been like dragged through. Okay,
That
this
is
has been
the
dragged
worst
through the
relic job of any guitar. Paul will testify.
I don't know if it's the worst relic, because it's an old thing. I can't work out if I love it or if I hate it.
No, you're not looking at what I'm holding up, Paul.
Oh, sorry, because I can't see it. All I can see is my screen. So let me.
I'm holding up the Neely Gilmore Strat.
Oh, that is the worst. That is the worst relic job that's ever been done.
It's
Is it like the factory relic where you can see that the wood is like brand new underneath, and it's just sort of like paint?
No, it's way worse.
It's
than
worse
That
than
is
that.
someone,
Okay.
That's someone that doesn't know what a relic is. And
This
then
was a
they
relic job
bought
done by someone with a Phillips
Oh,
screwdriver.
it's awful. And it's a poly guitar. It just doesn't.
But the
work.
rest of the guitar is so good, I can't bring myself to take it to bits and just buy another body, because the rest of it is such a good Strat. I really don't want to mess with it.
That's a shocking relic job. Anyway, should we go on? We should go on with the questions.
Yes, we are there. Boom.
Willie, Gary Westcott, fair play, lucky fella. Nice.
Indeed.
Let's try and get past the ones where they're talking amongst themselves.
Yeah.
By Stats Trucci.
So-
Oh yes, so well done, mate. JP, really love my Laney Ironheart. It just rocks. Awesome tones. Nice one, JP. Michael, use a TRS for long runs. Well, only if the other end is balanced.
It's
can't
got to
just
be
use
balanced
the
both
balance.
ends. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to use a TRS and know it's balanced. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's got to be a balanced. It's got to be a balanced
Circuit.
output or input circuit.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jeff.
yeah,
Well done.
Boom.
Hollywood. I saw someone compare two cables, and the decent one kept more high than the other. I would have thought
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yes. That. I mean, I've also done reviews of optical cables as well.
Oh
Let's
my
not go
God.
there.
Jesus. JP, I tried to get a Tony Iommi signature Laney 50 built for the last Villa show, but my mate at Headstock said they sold out in seconds. Ah, nice. That would have been cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I've tried one of those. Not one of those 50, but I tried one of the original ones, and they sound great. Proper rock amp.
Nice. Chris, Evening Rats. Imagine last week you're offered a choice of one ticket, Sabbath, Oasis, just a bit of fun. I know where I'm going. Absolutely.
3, 2,
Sabbath.
1. Sabbath.
Sabbath,
Sabbath,
yeah.
absolutely.
Me too.
Yeah, you as well.
Yeah, I'm not like a massive Sabbath fan, but that concert looked like a lot more fun. I've not looked
Yeah.
at any of the Oasis stuff, but I would assume it's Oasis.
Yeah. Just sounds like Oasis,
Two
yeah.
very overpaid blokes going,
Yeah.
we are here doing this for the money.
Hollywood. Hi, Paul. Would you consider buying an old 80s Sun Mustang for 80 quid and compare it against your higher end Strats?
No.
Good.
What about one from the Argos catalogue? What about, like an
Yes,
Encore Strat?
I just remember them. I remember those. I can't. No, they were terrible. There's,
So you know how we joke about Argos and all that sort of stuff. I was chatting with one of the guys when Yamaha in the UK were Yamaha Kemble. I was chatting to one of the guys in their sales team and said, "So what's your biggest account?" Thinking they would say something like, "Oh, Andertons," or Guitar or something like that. He said, "Argos," and I went, "What?" He said, "Think of the number of PSR 10s, PSR 15s, PSR 17s, all that sort of stuff they buy. It's in the gazillions."
wow. Willie, Tool stole the show at Villa Park. Apart from that, I'd go and see Oasis. Tool were awesome. It's true.
Tool-
I did see
Tool
them.
are always
I did-
awesome.
Yeah, they are always awesome, aren't they? Such a great band. Carl Schmidt, LM8, he says, Studio Rats, any tips for getting an edge of breakup tone on a 1970 SF? What's an SF?
Silverface.
Silverface, thank you. Twin reverb for at-home volumes. Finding that almost OD sound fizzy. It sounds fizzy because you need to turn it up.
Because you need to turn it
And
up.
You never get the Fender Twin is a really great clean amp, but it's
You need two
so much-
things. You need a load
Okay.
box is the first thing you need to get that
Yeah.
tone, and the second thing you need is some light drive. And I'm going to say a Tube Screamer just because Paul's going to say something else.
Yeah, definitely not a cheap screamer.
It might be worth just getting a smaller combo amp instead of getting something to make the twin reverb like dampen it down like a load box or attenuator. I think you get more bang for your buck if you buy a smaller like combo amp and have that with volume, like something that's maybe 10, 15 watts.
But 10,
I think
15
you get
watts
more out
in
of
the bedroom is going to
Still
kill
too loud.
people still. Whereas
yeah.
if you have an aux or a tube amp expander, you can have it at whisper bedroom volume. You're going to get that valve tone. The valves will still be cooking.
I completely agree. I completely agree with you, James. Yeah,
Mm.
it's you've got to get an attenuator. The pedal that I would recommend is, if I could get it in front of my face,
Have focus.
it's called a Tamco tone oven,
Ooh.
and that will get your edge of breakup sort of tone. You might be able to do it with that, but I would definitely agree with James. I would go and buy an attenuator because it's the only way you're going to get that twin to sound anything like it's meant to sound.
And also, the attenuator is going to work with all of your amps. You buy a Champ, for example, which is 5 watts. 5 valve watts cooking is still going to offend your neighbours.
It's loud as hell.
Yeah.
Loud as hell.
Yeah.
Dave, I managed to get a copy of the whole Sabbath event. Nuno was on fire. Nuno's always on fire.
God,
So
that
good.
Napster was it?
Nuno could
No.
play that 80s Sun Mustang and still
Yeah.
sound like Nuno.
Well, he
Oh, yeah.
played like, just for context, he played like 10 or 11 songs because he was in like a lot of these so super group.
yeah.
I got a ticket to the live live stream event, and he played like 10 or 11 songs, and 2 days later he's on tour with Extreme. So
Wow.
like he flew back after that and then straight into an Extreme gig. But yeah, phenomenal guitar player for
I
sure.
think they're playing Birmingham this year, Extreme again.
Are they? Nice.
Is he best player in the world right now?
No, but he's
No.
he's probably one of my favourites, but I wouldn't say he's the best in the world. He's
Yeah.
like icon status. He's getting up there, I would say. For what we're
I
like.
think it's hard to use the word best with
Best,
anything. 'cause that,
best is
you know,
very opinionative, isn't it? But
yeah.
technically, he is phenomenal.
Oh, he's brilliant. Nuno is the best. Nuno is the best at being Nuno, without doubt.
Yeah.
And it's a damn good noise. Michael MC, love that Nuno showed respect to Jakey Lee learning his solo songs for that last Aussie concert. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a stand.
He's a monster. He's an absolute monster.
Guppy Gorda 64. Thanks. Yes, a friend has a Bassman 50. Sounds great. Only issue with Bassman is they don't get loud with bass. Need a huge 15-inch cab. An Ampeg Portaflex PF20T I have is almost as loud as a Bassman. True.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't think of one that does both. Then, unfortunately, not does well.
Yeah. No. I've got to say, love Cassidy's glasses.
Cheers, mate.
That's
Hey!
Oh, I need some now.
I feel left out now. Oh god.
Yeah, I wear this a very sort of special time with Mrs. because she makes me.
Do you put on an accent as well?
She
I
said,
do.
does she say hello?
Hello.
Hello and welcome.
She might be one of my subscribers in the female category.
She might be that 1.2%.
That's right.
Tony, I have a superb parts caster that had some wiring issues. Not being the most confident with the soldering iron, I took pics of the internals, and ChatGPT guided me through fixing it. Off pics I was uploaded.
Oh,
Amazing.
Wow. See, there is a use. There is a use for this thing.
yeah, I've been using it recently.
Have you?
I used it to turn some absolute gobbledygook jargon into something that sounded like I'd written it, because it's learned over time how I phrase and how I write stuff. It turned a manual into something that sounded like me. I was like, that's quite clever.
Nice.
You start to tell, like, when you see Facebook posts or YouTube descriptions or loads of different things, you can tell when they're written by ChatGPT now. Well, at least I can, because it's got like a sense of humor almost, but it's just like so safe and non-offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not like us.
Vice Satsuchi said Nuno was unquestionably the MVP of that Back to the Beginning concert, and we can just talk about how incredible the singer for Rival Sons is. I don't know Rival Sons. They should be way bigger than Greta Van Zeppelin. Greta Van Zeppelin. I don't like. I do not get Greta Van Zeppelin, as you call them.
No.
Don't get it at all. Oh.
Oh yeah, this was the question that you asked about players that have been using the same guitar or the same instrument for a very long time, and Andy Timmons has been using that really old Ibanez. He still uses that. It's been refretted loads. I think we talk about.
I'm seeing him more and more with that, but with his new black one. But
yeah.
Graham
Steve
Campbell,
Morse
Rory
is in there
Gallagher.
as well.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I knew I'd start a thing off, but and Steve Morse as well. Yeah, that his Music Man.
Adrian Smith is the next one. Adrian Smith definitely, but he's known for other guitars as well. It's not just that Strat, sure, but Lee Gilmore's Black Strat. Well, he did play other Strats.
He played lots of different.
Lots of different. Yeah. Dan Huff. Yeah, I think that's pretty much. I would say. I'd say that's
great show.
Yeah, Trigger. That's true.
Yeah.
You can say it, mate.
Yeah.
It says,
good shout on Dan Huff.
Yes.
In French.
I think you said.
In French.
Oui.
Très bien pour Dan Huff. Je pense qu'il utilisait la Strat pendant beaucoup d'années et il l'a encore chez lui en fait.
There we go.
Well, that just and apparently you like bass players as well.
What language do you speak in Luxembourg?
Well, there's French
Finnish.
is one of the official languages, and Luxembourgish as well. So,
Luxembourgish.
Yeah. So Luxembourgish is it has kind of German like roots if you look, or foundations if you put like sentence structure and things together. But then there's sort of like French words in there as well, and then. The great thing about Luxembourgish is you can throw in an English word, a French word, a German word, and people understand what you're talking about and it's fine. But you do that in another language and they'll kind of look at you a bit funny. If you start throwing in French words, for example, and they're just like, what's this guy on? Yeah.
So out of the 3 people that live in Luxembourg.
Yes.
Anyway.
The thing I find weird about it is that people who make a living creating their own companies, there's no French word for entrepreneur.
Very good.
Restaurant is a French word.
Good.
And apparently bass players use a lot of their own stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
And I watched. I don't know if you watch Scott's bass lessons. It's like really
Steinberger.
Good. Yeah, but he did an interview with Freddie Washington. And he's been using that same bass. I just watched it before, and he's had that bass since he was 15. It's like a P bass, and he's been playing it non-stop, basically. So that's, and maybe Lee Sklar, which I mentioned as well.
If I had a 60s P bass, I'd take it to bed, probably.
Here we go. He's starting again. Oscar, cheers, fellas, from Copenhagen, Denmark. Cheers, Oscar. Copy recorder. I picked up an older British-made Orange Rocker 30, cost about 600 quid. Sounds great. Very loud for 30 watts. Claims a great tune. Can do country even. Nice.
Oh,
Session gold. There we go. The tool amongst themselves. Next
well,
one.
he's there. He's there.
Yes, he is there. Thanks, fellas. Makes sense. Anytime, mate. Anytime. Jeff, Mr. Abraham inspired me last week. I bought a new Behringer Centaur for RRP. I've never seen it because it's still sealed in the box. In a few years, it might be worth almost what I paid for it.
I've got some
Well done,
Barbies
mate.
like that.
What's that? What's that, Steve?
I've got some Barbies like that still in the box.
Have you? Have you? I bet you have as well.
Part of my collection.
Mike the Bike. Cheers, lads. Cheers, Mike. Fabrice. Thanks. Jacques Compris.
You understand?
I understand. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Is that right, Paul?
J'ai compris. Yes, that's correct. I
Why-
could be
why
your
is that-
resident translator.
Brilliant.
Mine is now
James
automatically translating for
Compress.
me.
What's that?
I don't
That's
know.
because I've translated him once. It's automatically translating it for me. That, I
Doing
was
it
like,
again. That's good.
What does that mean in French? He's put one of them at the end.
And they're swearing in French,
well,
isn't it?
No, it's like, well, thumbs up. It's Daumen hoch in German, and in French it'd be coup de pouce.
Oof.
Taxi.
Nasty.
Coup de pouce. Pouce.
careful though, because you can't do that in Turkey. If you if you
Probably
thumb a
not.
lift in Turkey, it means something. It's like flipping someone the bird. Don't do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was asking for something. Alan, I have a 1988, 1989 Les Paul Studio in bright red, and it was fitted with ceramic pickups, the same as the Jimmy Page Special Edition. Nice,
Nice, very nice.
very nice. Farnham, sorry. I've got one as well, one of those 61 custom shop SGs. My go-to choice of axes is Sir Modern, my favourite one. Second most favourite is a Les Paul. Nice.
It's
Very
just a 61 reissue. It's not like a custom shop thing. It's just been really played, but it's the standard 61 reissue.
Nice. Farron also says I get a Gibson 335 as well, but the fret came off. Wow, so sad. My Tokai 335 did a lot better. Well, you can always get the frets put back on, I guess, but that is a shame.
Frets do become
fret
new.
board. I think he's saying. I think he says fretboard.
Yeah,
Send it
that,
back.
that would be way more of an issue.
I was going to say,
That is an issue.
if
Frets-
the 22nd
frets
fret
is a
went
thing.
off, you'd be like, I can live with that.
Yeah,
But like the
Yeah.
fretboard's a bit dicey.
yeah, that's a different story.
Wow. Lean. Hey guys, I need to buy a cheap, solid Super Strat guitar. Hey, Steve's here for this. This would be good. It needs to have at least jumbo frets, $800 or $1,000 max. I don't know how much. I don't know much, but what do you recommend? Whatever you guys say, I'm buying it. Steve-O.
Jet,
Well,
a jet.
no. I mean, $800 to $1,000, you can get away. You're out of Jet's best stuff, I think, for the value. But what about the new Ibanez AZ standards? They're less than that. Are they not fit the criteria for you? You tried them, Paul, did you not, recently, at the Ibanez thing?
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. And I think if he's looking for a Super Strat and he wants jumbo frets, $800 to $1,000 max. You're talking about the Charvel, something like the DKs,
Yeah.
the Ibanez. I mean, if you want to spend the top of your budget, you can get a Mexican HSS.
I'd
That sort of
throw
money? Yes.
there's a Schecter Nick Johnston
Oh, yeah.
model that I think has those kind of features, and that's in that kind of price range as well. That's probably a
And
good
lean,
shout.
does it have to be new? Because second hand, that's going to buy you a lot of instrument.
Yeah, go second hand. Always try and go second hand.
If you don't mind a ding or two, people having a ding on a guitar that's not supposed to have a ding on it wipes a lot of money off quickly. You might get a real bargain on Fleabay.
I was just saying you should write the eBay seller and say there's a hole through it. Do you mind knocking off a couple of $100?
I should,
See if that works.
should definitely that. Foreign says, I hear Shishi. Is that have I said that right, Steve-O?
Yeah.
Are really good and make Sir like Super Strats.
Mm.
Yeah.
They look good.
Sorry. Shahaba. A Plexi can do anything with the drive pedal, classic rock metal, etc. Very true.
Yeah.
Got a crank kit. Shahar also says, "Hey guys, how rude of me. Greetings. Back from 2-week vacation in Central Europe, Poland, Austria, Slovakia, Chechnya, and Hungary. Czechia.
Czechia.
Bless you.
Czechia and Hungary. Very nice, mate.
Nice. Sounds like a good trip.
Yeah. Mr. Brose, he said, I found and bought another Roland Space Echo. Nice.
Oh, nice.
I have 4. Wow. And I have a problem. It's flooding down in Texas, and my wife wanted to go home. Shat. Shat.
That's also correct for something else, probably.
Yeah. Good show. Cheers. Yeah. Wow. You definitely got a problem with 4 Space Echoes. Wow. What you can do with 4?
That's not a problem. That's quad.
Is that Texas flood reference here? I don't know what's going on.
Is there? Yes. Is there a Gary Moore reference?
Steve Vaughan.
Yeah.
Steve Ray Vaughan. My bike, my Fender Twin, 135 watts. Wow, with JBLs in a flight case. I think it's the heaviest thing on planet Earth. It's heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike, I'd love to know what you did with that Les Paul. With that, you had the Dutch burst, didn't you? You let us know about that. Mike Blue says, I had a 2x12 100-watt dual reverb JCM 900 and couldn't get a good sound out of it. Then nobody wanted to buy it. Yes, no one wants to buy it.
Did you buy his amp? I was going to say, is that the amp that you bought?
The funniest thing was that this one was in Chelmsford, about 15 miles down the road from me.
That's what you want. Yeah, the thing is, Mike, it's like any valve amp, you've got to turn it up.
You've got to turn it up.
Jason, 900s, 800s sound absolute shite at low volume.
Marshalls generically at bedroom volume sound terrible. You crank them to within an inch of their existence through a load box, they sound absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
For the MG15 CD.
It's a beauty. That's a beauty. Jahaba, is Steve using backlight LEDs or is that simply emanating?
Emanating. I like it.
That's it.
Good. Graham Osborne, evening, Graham. Those heavyweight Fender Twins could go toe to toe with an Ampeg SVT head. It's true.
Yeah.
That's a 2-man lift.
Mm.
Looks like a Marauder. Oh, we're talking about that.
The Gibson,
yeah. It's a shocker.
When I first joined the band I was in for like 15 years of talent, the bass player used to have a flight case, a front back flight case with the 8x10 Ampeg cab and in an enclosed rack at the top the SVT head, and it was a 4-man lift upstairs. But as a drummer, the sound was so good. It was so easy to hear him on stage. It was just tight and punchy and lovely. I don't want to lift it, but my God, it sounded good.
Could I ask you a question on that, actually?
Yeah.
Sorry to go on a tangent, but with increasingly like in-ear gigs, all my gigs are like in-ears, sessions, in-ears and stuff. As a drummer, do you miss like an 8x10 or a bass amp on stage to get that kind of interaction with what you're doing?
I miss the feel of the air movement. I miss having a sub next to me.
This is great. See, what I've done is I've muted him because we're not talking about any drums or bass, that sort of stuff. I can let you back on now.
Yes,
there we go.
Asked what a guest asked. How rude are you?
Jesus, I can see the subs going down. Right. That's the Marauder, isn't it?
Yes,
pretty much.
Copy Quarter 64. I still really like the PRS DGT SE Gold Top with the moon inlays. Leave the birds to Hitchcock. Paul. Nice.
Very good.
Paul Wallenose. Lovely.
I
don't know what's going on. Going on. Go on. Talk about your drum stuff. Just
no. I'll talk to. I'll talk to Paul offline. No.
Okay. No.
Yes, I miss volume on stages. I miss it. I want it back. Moving on.
David, yeah, me too. I remember those days when they were new, the official smash guitar of Paul Stanley for years. Yes. Paul, you got David similar time. And actually, they're talking amongst themselves now.
Yeah.
Push on. Forum, can't stand relic. Okay. Farhan might need to go. Can't stand relic guitars. Yes, I'm one of those guys. I thought Jiver was topless.
I was probably the yellow t-shirt and in the light. Yeah.
Do you know what all it is, right? So I've had these lights up since I built the studio, and I've only this week worked out how to DMX them together and get them to change color.
Metal Andy, those Gibsons don't look as bad as the reverse V they did years ago. That is true.
That is true.
Paul, Van Damme cable, always great, and Neutrik connection studio standards. Yes,
indeed, that's the way to go.
Yeah. Paul, fuzz face is good for thickening without crazy amounts of drive. Yes, it's different sort of sound, isn't it?
Yeah.
Graham, I was lucky to see Cardinal Black. Nice at a small private gig last week. Chris Buck was awesome live. Yeah, he is just amazing.
Always great.
Such a great player. Comic Gorda 64 for that 1970s twin. You could try a pair of those Celestian Peacekeeper speakers in it. That and a torpedo captors are pretty affordable, 180 quid. Yeah, the only thing about those Peacekeeper speakers, I don't think they bring down the volume that much.
Enough. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because Eminence used to make speakers with like a magnet that you could move, so it'd have attenuation on it. I have one in a 1x12. I think it's called the Rainmaker. It was like their greenback variation of that. And so what it did was there was like this big, it's like a handle on the back of the speaker, and so you could dial in sort of attenuation, and it would also change how the speaker would react and reduce the volume.
Oh, wow.
So it's sort of like passive attenuation because it would move the space between, I think, it's the magnet and the coil or something. And that's sort of what the Peacekeepers are doing, but it's the set value. So essentially you're buying a relatively expensive speaker that's already pre-attenuated. So I would say maybe an attenuator is probably a better shout in that instance.
I agree, because it's one thing being sonically handicapped and not being able to change it. There's another thing being able to buy a thing that might cost you more money, but taking it between amp and different venues and stuff, as opposed to it not quite doing what you wanted it to do.
Yep.
Yeah. Jeff says you probably do a video on the tone oven pedal, even though you've already said that you won't. Well, it's pedal videos. Yes, I'll say yes. Derek, Snow White Gold Top. Snow White, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Jeff Cook, I asked ChatGPT how to make Steve Cassidy's glasses. It simply said in his video titled, "Why are the stupid glasses?" Good question.
That's actually my video.
Is it?
Yeah.
Steve discusses his choice eyewear.
AliExpress.
Well, yeah, what? I like your glasses. Well, you got me some of these. I like this.
Cheers, mate. They're good.
I wear it on special occasions, as I said.
It doesn't even matter what your prescription is; they just work.
They do. It's brilliant. It's amazing. Hot 8. Good day, rats. Just got home from Sweetwater, so tuning in. Nice one. Cheers, Hot 8. Kept recorded 64. Isn't Dave Grissom always on his signature PRSTGT? I think.
I think he
just
plays his Gold Top a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Graham, would you use a compressor on an acoustic guitar for live, particularly in songs where there's a mix of finger picking and strumming? Yeah,
Definitely.
Why not?
Definitely.
Why not?
Yep.
Yeah. Dav Lynch was in Dirtbox. Damn. I don't know what we're referring to here.
That's a good point. He makes a very good point.
Malmsteen used the same Strat for a long time.
Yeah.
Did he? He's got loads of those Strats.
Yeah,
They all look the same though.
Yeah, they're all kind of dirty white.
Yeah. Which
sorry,
Scallop Strat has been using for the longest time?
Sorry, Steve, you were going to say something.
I was just going to say, like, the amount that he's got those originals and he's like scalloped them all. I don't know what that does to the value of them, because they're vintage but they're Malmsteens, so I don't know.
If
hoping
butchering has been done by Malmsteen, does that still count as?
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see when they go up for auction at one point.
See, I'm hoping that he and he just got replacement necks, and he's kept the original neck somewhere. Surely he must have done.
No.
I don't think he has. I mean, if you've seen the video of his studio, there's not even guitar stands.
Yeah,
They're like lying on top of each other, just
Oh.
like lying against the wall. And it's like, yeah, these are my 60s or 70s Strats. He's got loads of them, and it's like I scalloped them, and you're like, okay, just make
I
it
think
work.
somewhere earlier than that, he's got some like 54s and 56. Yeah, loads of like vintage.
Really?
That's it. Just
Wow.
got his screen out.
Wow.
Okay. Gowan says, "Hey guys, I have one simple question, and that question is: would you
No,
rather watch a
don't do
Street
it.
Pro or an Intro?"
Oh,
Oh no, I said it. Oh no.
Oh, no. Your turn to do the edit.
Well, no, that's not really my fault, is it? Because
No,
that's
it's
not. That's just someone's. No, come on, we're past that. We're not like that anymore. Come on, Keith. Evening Rats, running late again. I had a choice between watching the show or sitting in the garden with friends and family drinking beer and eating homemade pizza. And I said, "Good choice, mate. You made the right choice.
You made the. You chose wisely.
Chose widely. Absolutely. You must listen to this guff." Martin, my artist Paisley turned up today. What a guitar for 300 quid.
Nice. Well done.
check him out.
Can be called yeah, I was going to say the Schecter Nick Johnson was just on Anderton, so you can check it. You can check him out playing. Yeah, he's great, isn't he? Cool. I have a JCM 900 100 watt dual reverb 2x12, but it's broken at the moment, Law.
Get it fixed.
Get it fixed. Mike Blue. I gigged that Marshall loud. It was a suck fest. Wow. Interesting. I think it's a great noise, that.
Yeah.
Poorly Painters C5. Hey, actually, go and check out John 5. John 5 always uses JCM 900s and sounds absolutely incredible. All the Marilyn Manson stuff.
Nuno always uses like a JCM 2000 with a rat pedal in
2000.
front.
Yep.
And like he's got a Boss GT10. It's like
He's
it's
an
such
ME5,
a basic. Maybe it's the 5, but it's that Boss
ME5.
like setup, and it's just that's what he uses. And then there's just a rat pedal that's always on, giving that like kind of filter. Yeah, that. I don't know if I should do that on camera, but
Well,
like,
I did it. My camera.
you did it first.
Not going to do it.
But yeah, the rat settings, one's like that, and it's that filter sound that gets him that kind of percussive, well, the Nuno percussive tone.
Such a good tone.
Yeah.
Tony, I saw Nuno with Extreme last time they toured the UK. I've gone to see Living Colour, but Extreme completely blew them away. They played like a brand new band to prove rather than 30-year plus band. Yeah,
I was there as well.
Liv- Well, yeah. Living Colour. I don't get Living Colour.
I love Living Colour.
Vernon Reid's guitar solo on Cult Personality is like, I don't know what's going on. It's just a noise.
I think I dig Living Colour for the rhythm section for Doug Wimrish and Will Cahoon. That to me is what Living Colour is. That the kick and snare drum sound on everything they do is just awesome.
Right. Yeah. Mike the Bike. I'm starting to love the Dutch Burst. I'm thinking of replacing the frets with the same size as factory.
That'll be big frets.
What?
Same size as
Tick
the
told me that the fret nibs are the same size.
Very good, Steve. Very good.
I'm gonna risk. What's that? What's the joke? I missed it.
Same size as a factory. They're big frets.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. I mean. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not playing it because you don't like it, change it. Is the answer.
I would, if you're not playing it and you want to hold its value, sell it. I just don't. If you need it, don't change the frets on that guitar. That's. But anyway, I saw Jules Lynch 10 years ago in a guitar clinic, and he sucked ass. I was so disappointed. He spent too much time at the gym, and his skills went to shit. But it looks like he got his mojo back. Awesome. The moral is stay out of the gym, stay in your bedroom.
Finally, someone who gets it.
Yeah, nice one, Shahar. Thanks for saving us.
Yeah, well done, Charles. Jeff, I was looking at my Sir Classic S Antique and thinking it might be time to buy a heavy relic. I've gone from relics or stupid to I've been converted. Yeah, well done, mate. That's what you want. Doesn't Janet Gers from Maiden play the same black white strap for decades? I don't know. Does he? Is that the same?
Yes, but it's not not always iconically the same. You know, they've probably got 15, 20 guitars on in rack case at the back, whereas we know Brian May up until recently has always played the original Red Special. That was my point.
Mike the Bike. He hasn't scalloped the old ones. I don't think he's so stupid.
I think he
Yeah.
has scalloped them. To be fair, I mean, we could look it up, but yeah.
Interesting. Shahar, did either of you see the Vice Satch with Pete Thorne tour? No,
That'd be
no, I
cool.
didn't.
I would have loved to have done. I thought it was the Pete Thorne tour featuring Steve and Joseph Giuliani. Pete Thorne is the only person to make a Fender Acoustasonic look cool.
Pete Thorne's awesome.
Pete Tones!
Oh, it's a good joke, that one. Session Gold. Well, Paul, you found the ultimate super struts. I'm going to ask again. When is the ultimate rack coming? Nice. Yes. I need to get back into rack stuff. You're right. I need to.
I
need
can
a new
start you
hobby.
off. I can start
Yes,
you
you
off.
can. You can start me off. It's true.
What
True.
preamp would you start off with, Paul?
ADA MP1.
MP1.
Yeah,
If we can find one at a reasonable price.
Because it didn't Nuno use ADA MP1s? I think on
Yeah.
the first.
Yeah.
First couple of
That with the
albums.
rack. Yeah, such a good noise. Such a good noise. Mike Blue, 1962 Blues Breaker combo for me. Lovely. Why don't they bring back an ADA MP1? It's crazy.
They did the pedal.
There's
They
been
did the pedal.
emulations
Yeah,
as
they
well.
did the pedal.
Pretty good.
Oh, what's the pedal?
No, I'm
It
saying.
was actually the company that they put the preamp in the pedal,
Oh, wow.
basically. So if you look up the ADA MP-1 channel preamp, I think you can still find them. Yeah, if you look that up, you'll find them. I'm not sure if they're still built, but this came out like a couple of years ago.
I used to love that. Just the stupid knobs on it. Just it was like I can't expect.
The semi-touch sensitive buttons.
Well, it wasn't. They were just like it was like some medical equipment. Do you know what I mean? It was like easy wipeable. It was weird stuff, but I loved it. It sounded great. I don't know why I ever sold it. Yes, we've done that. Have we done that one? 1962 Blues Breaker for me. Lovely, nice.
That's heavy.
Very nice. That's heavy, yeah. Paul, tranny Marshalls are so underrated. They're beasts. Awesome.
Crank them up. They sound great.
Michael, does anyone have a baritone guitar? And what do you think about them? I have to do recording that uses a Barry. I'm not buying one. I'll fake it. Just asking. Have you got a Barry?
Yeah. I'll go find mine while we talk.
So
I've got one as well. Should we like bring out our baritone guitars?
Yeah.
The session I did
Right.
last week, when Louis and the boys were over, Ben bought his SE, his PRS SE baritone, and we used it on one of the tracks because it just added that extra gap of kind of chugginess between the bass and the guitar part. It was awesome. It was like,
nice.
Why didn't I buy one of these? And every time I've got close to buying one at the last couple of auctions, it hasn't worked for whatever reason because they've gone really high in price.
Nice.
My like this.
Nice.
I had the PRS before, but I got this last year. It's the Gretsch. I think it's the G5 260.
Nice.
Loathe use them, and the only thing I've done is I took off the pick guard because I prefer the look like this. It's just like this walnut kind of finish. This is a 29.75 inch scale length.
Looks like 30 from here.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge.
So,
Huge. Should I do the thing with the hands again, Steve? Like, but it's in drop F sharp, but because of the pickups, which they're the kind of Filtertron style pickups, and it actually gives a lot of character because it's super bright and kind of thin. it works really well on very low tunings. And I prefer them to having, like, say, humbuckers that might have more output and then sound muddy in the process. So I find the PRS SE 277s didn't have as much character as, say, this, and it sounded kind of muddy unless you kind of change the pickups and stuff. So yeah, this is, I think, is really good, and it's cheaper as well. This is like 500 odd euros, something like that, 550 euros.
Looks good as well. Steve-O.
Mine's was probably the same in terms of price. This, so the Partscaster got a video on the channel. Yeah, so you can buy from Fender a subsonic baritone conversion neck that you can put on, well, whatever really. And this is just the Squier Affinity Jazzmaster body, sorry. And same as Paul was just saying there, these Jazzmaster sort of single coily type pickups I think they're a good match as well for the lower register. I'm only on drop A, but that's still plenty low for me. But yeah, I love the baritone, loads of fun.
It's like we're trying to sell you guitars. It's quite amusing.
Yeah,
It's like, which one would
We
you
don't
prefer?
need much convincing normally, to be fair.
Yeah.
I got another one last year. You know Anderton's brand East Coast.
Right, I don't know that. No.
Well, East Coast was. No, you're right. Sorry, I was thinking of Gear for Music's brand, but that's
Gear for Music.
no. They've got they had their own bird-related brand or something. I can't remember the name. Falcon or someone like that. But yeah.
Hartwood's another one from Gear for Music. But yeah, East Coast, they've got well, it's discontinued now, but it was £99 for the baritone. It's pretty decent. It's like a Tele style HH. I've got one that I keep in the school, but pretty good.
Cool.
Nice. Mike the Bike. I booked tickets for Athens to see Satisfy. Nice one, Mike.
Very nice.
Nice. Graham Osborne. Given that Tony Iommi and Brian May are such close friends, I thought it was curious that Brian May didn't play at the Sabbath gig.
Might just be
I
schedules.
agree.
Might
Yeah.
just be schedules. You know,
But he was at the gig apparently. Like, there's photos of
Was
him
he?
at the gig. Yeah.
Oh.
So I was curious about that as well. Like, why Brian, for whatever reason, yeah, you can't really say. Might be scheduled.
But it was
to be
Ozzy's
honest,
gig.
really.
It was Ozzy's gig, though, wasn't it? Maybe. So
Yeah.
not really. Yeah.
yeah.
Jeff, I've been experimenting with the Bosch GE7 with the level up pushing the front of the crazy tube circuits Venus with the drive down around 9 o'clock. There's gold in them thar hills. Nice.
Nice.
Cheers, Jeff. Ultimate Rack bites tongue. Very good. There's been a couple that have slipped by. A couple of
Yes.
comments. Tony, speaking of relic strats, Sir Ian Thorny Roughneck, so versatile with the HSH. Heavy Relic 2, my drummer said, be getting that fixed when he first saw it. Very good.
I'm sorry. We're
I
like
don't know who Ian Thornley is. AJ MP1 from the 80s, yes.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Graham Osborne, finally sold by search, got rid of my Katana Artist 2 and now have a Fractal FM9 and Laney FR112. Sounds awesome at rehearsal last night. Giving it an outing at a festival on Saturday. Nice one, Graham. Let us know how that goes. Huge Valoverta uses an ADMP1. They sound great. Nice.
Mm.
JP, I saw Satch Fine York. They were excellent. Pete Thorne, especially so. Last saw Pete with the late, great Chris Cornell. Nice.
It's almost a G3, is it? Did Pete Thorne come out with them at the end? Because if he did, that's his G3.
It's you're right, it is, because Pete Thorne's probably just as famous as any of the ones that and just as good. He is, though.
Oh, just as good, but he's not. He's famous in guitar circles, but he's not. I don't think he's famous in famous circles.
Yeah, I've maybe
I
got.
think it's maybe the virtuoso, like, solo instrumental albums that, you know, you'd associate with Satch and Vi. They've brought out a lot of those. And with Pete, like, I know him primarily because of, like, YouTube and things like that, and then seen him play sessions playing with Chris. He was with the Classic Rock Show. They played Luxembourg, earlier this year, actually. So it was great to talk to him as well. But I think that's the sort of he's a really good session guy, and then he's got the YouTube channel, but I don't think that enough people know of his own stuff, and that's maybe why it wouldn't be, say, a G3 like if it was maybe Andy Timmons, for example, or Eric Johnson.
Yeah.
Is Pete Thorne any less famous than?
Yeah, he is.
I mean, is he?
He doesn't have the same type of back catalogue, but I think in terms of profile these days, and he would definitely bring a different crowd than what Satriani and Vai would bring. Younger crowd, probably.
Probably. I don't know. There is still, in that space of guitar virtuosos, why has Nuno never done a G3?
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's certainly up there,
Nuno doesn't need to. Nuno doesn't need.
I don't think any of them need to.
But there's another thing. What's the other thing called? It's very like G3 Generation X. So it's like just a separate group. It's like Vai again. I think Zakk Wylde, Nuno. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 of them. Malmsteen might be in that as well, and they toured like for quite a few years.
Right.
Okay.
It might also be. I mean, the thing is, for I'm 44, so like G3 when that came out, that was a huge deal. That was a big thing. I bought the CD and it was like, okay, it established a brand of where there's Vai, there's Satriani, and then someone else.
Yeah, another.
That makes sense. So like the first couple of G3s, it was then I think Malmsteen did one. I think maybe Petrucci was in there at some point, and some other ones. But there's always like Vai or Satriani, tends to be both of them, and then someone else. And I think there's maybe certain things that doesn't necessarily work. Paul Gilbert, I think, was definitely in there at some point. But it's just one of those things where that was like an established brand of like Vai, Satriani, and someone else. I think at least that's my interpretation.
The one that really didn't work was Robert Fripp.
Yeah, without doubt.
Did not work at all. Apparently, Satch had to come out on stage and say, "Look, stop booing our fellow G," because the audience didn't get it. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's quite a hard listen.
Nearly there.
Yeah.
No, go on, Steve. What's that, mate? Go on.
I was just saying, I seen a G3. It was like the first tour that came to the UK, and it was Adrian Legg they had. I think someone pulled out last minute and he came in. And then another one. Yeah, Adrian Legg.
Wow.
And then another one was it was no Vai, it was just Satriani, Uli John Roth, and Michael Schenker. That was a G3.
Oh God.
That was maybe it actually.
Wow. Shahar says, what do you guys think of the new Herman phonetically? Oh God, I fell for that. PRS. We did some things on it a couple of weeks ago. We talked
and then we deleted it.
And then we had to delete it. JP, my guess is Brian May's recent health issues may have prevented him from playing with his best mate Tony.
That's probably true as well.
Possibly true, yeah. Motorbike, have you heard which band wanted to be paid in Sabbath concert? I thought Kiss. I didn't. What?
Somebody
the band's not being paid.
They weren't being paid. They did it for fun.
It was like a charity portion of the event as well, So I'm not sure. I would expect like expenses covered and things like that. Like the actual nitty gritty on like bands or people getting guarantees. No idea about that. But there's like speculation on which band was fired or like Sharon like didn't want to hire them or they were set to play and then they got kicked out. But I think that was just speculation. Like
so Ozzy didn't get paid for the gig. It was a charity thing.
It was a big charity event, essentially.
How interesting! I didn't know that.
I'll have to look it up.
Tony, Ian Thornley's band is called Big Wreck. You really need to check them out. Sings like Chris Cornell, plays guitar like a mix of Eric Johnson, Steve Morse, SOB, and others. Oh, I need to check that out. Defo. Right.
We're there.
I'm
going to press this button.
Stupid comment of the week.
Boys and girls, if you're going to make comments on videos, at least watch.
Oh, hold on a second. Before we put it up, let's give the what the video's about. So it was a video on the new Amplified Nation Trem Drive Deluxe.
Yeah.
So it was a review video of that amplifier, and
Yeah.
someone sent in a message. And he sent in a message saying, "I'm considering this amp. How are the cleans? Thanks. I was looking for an amp that did great tweed black." So so I've done a review of an amp, which is a clean amp.
Yeah.
So I played all the clean tones. And he said, "I'm considering the amp. How are the cleans?" James?
That is
Stupid comment of the week.
There we go. There we
absolutely
go.
mind blowing. Please, folks, watch videos to the end before you comment. I've lost track of the number of times I put a 10-minute video up and there's been comments negativing it and thumbs down less than a minute into the video. How?
Yeah.
Why? Why would you do this? One last comment, because we can. In fact, two last comments.
Okay. Shahar says, "I recently discovered the Philips Ace. Absolute beast. Absolute beast.
Indeed.
Absolute.
Yeah.
Indeed. Copy Corder. I have a jet baritone, the Jazzmaster Star 1, 27-inch in Moonburst with humbuckers and a P90 neck. Cost 300 squids. Upgraded the pickups and some plastics, and it's good.
That's
Nice.
a good show.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome please thank even our guest, Paul Bradshaw, Mr. Steve Casardi.
Well, shall we say, do you guys want to big up your YouTube channels? Because
Please do.
it's, give us.
Check out Paul's channel. It's absolutely fantastic. Doing a lot of stuff on modeling, digital thing, fractal, a lot of fractal stuff going on. You need to check it out.
And
And
Paul,
you should check out Steve's channel, where like I love your intros, Wacklom. I think it just sticks in my head. It's the best thing ever. So if you want like a good bit of banter, good bit of chat, and like information about a lot of guitars, certain budgets, and a weekly live stream as well that he does, you should check out Steve right here on my left or right. I'm not sure. I'll just point in that direction.
you were pointing the right way, mate. You were pointing the
You
right
were,
way.
well
Steve
done.
was pointing the wrong way.
Is that pointing the wrong way?
Yeah. It's the other way. That's it. There you go.
Just
Stop
do this
doing
again.
that.
Do this again,
Always
Steve.
best to do that.
Oh,
Just
The
do that.
right way, the way I'm seeing it, that's correct.
Isn't
Thank
that a
you.
smiley emoji face? One of those.
Is that?
You've seen something like this before, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's a Curb
no.
Your Enthusiasm reference.
I'm
Otherwise,
scared to do that.
So there we go. If you enjoyed this, give us a like and subscribe. It really, really does help. At the moment, YouTube is crippling YouTube channels. So
Everybody's
Paul
getting
and
hammered.
Steve's channels as well. Give them a like, a thumbs up. It really, really, really does help. Anyway,
I'm going to do a shout for my channel just because I'm
please,
close
yeah.
to hitting, I'm so close to hitting 2,000 subscribers. TSR Joey Talks Tech. If you like all things technical and stuff, and I promise to not bore you completely with Dolby Atmos stuff. We'll be back next week with the same guests, some different guests, maybe lots of guests.
who knows?
Who knows? Who knows what may happen? This is the brilliant thing about this show. We don't plan it. You can probably tell. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend of gigging and stuff and playing and making music. And we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. Good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.
bye.